What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Tech in 30, the podcast where we discuss the very best in construction software, technology, and tools that helps people just like you get the very best from their construction businesses. I'm here today with my good friends Nick and Augustino from a very cool company that I like to call Revalate here, which is changing the game when it comes to software in the construction business. Really cool part about their company, guys, it's not a one-size-fits-all type of operation here. They go into your business and build you actual custom software to fit your needs and do stuff that you need it to actually do. So without further ado, guys, super pumped up to chat. Thank you so much for coming onto the podcast here. I would like to give you guys the opportunity to introduce yourselves, tell a little bit about yourself here. Nick, Augustino, please feel free, one of you, to start here.
Thanks, man. That was a great intro.
Hey, respect.
I'm 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 blown away. Right, I'm CEO. My name is Nick Bartella. I'm CEO and co-founder of Revalate, and this is my partner Augustino. I'll let him talk about himself shortly. Revalate was built, as you eloquently put it, Chris, to be able to build something for the construction industry in the way that they want to do it. We know that software, there's a lot of cool tools out there. None of them are really, you know, a, a, a glove fit. So we built something that gives small to medium construction companies a chance to tweak and play it to the way their exact workflow, so that they're not messing around with fluff or paying for anything that they're not really using.
Nice, man. Awesome, man. No, 100%, man. Augustino, please introduce yourself, brother.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for the intro there. That was great. My name is Augustino, co-founder and lead developer. My background started in construction, so everything from started as apprentice, being an electrician. I was foreman, project manager, moved my way to be an electrical inspector, and one day when I saw the opportunity and saw the need that people needed some help with their tech stack and all the stuff that I was doing back when I was a project manager, helping people improve their processes, seeing what the best solution for that would be, and hearing a lot of the feedback from our clients that they needed something that worked for them rather than them working for their software. This was the only logical path forward. So yeah.
Awesome, guys. Now tell me about that, like the path to creation, guys. Here, like that's one thing I always see, especially when we go to conferences. Man, is like the need for software in people's businesses, and we've came across like really cool softwares from, obviously you have like Jobber, the big guys, Service Titan. We've had people here like Job Title, all great softwares, but sometimes you don't have something that really fits your core business here, man. So you guys obviously saw the gap in that industry where some people need something that's a little bit more custom because people do things, as like a million different ways. Can you kind of talk about like the ideation and the creation process of like the company Revalate?
Yeah, man.
Absolutely, man.
So when it comes to that type of stuff, at least the way my brain works is there a problem? What's the solution? So, like you said, there's a lot of great softwares out there, and a lot of them have those core functionalities that everybody needs. But since they're providing one SaaS service for millions of people, it has to be out of the box. You can't make that 10 different ways. The way people create an estimate, create a quote, time track, invoicing, yes, there's those core functionalities, but everyone does it a little bit differently. And when you have to adapt to the way somebody else does it, that's when you start wasting time. And if you start wasting time, you become hesitant to actually use the product. If you as the owner are reluctant to use it, definitely your guys in the field are going to be reluctant to use it. And then you're just wasting money for no reason, and you're not getting the benefit of that tool. So when you build that software to your workflow, now you're happier to use it, you're saving time, and the rest of your company is saving time and using it too because it's just easy.
We
Awesome, man.
started to see in the conversations we started to have, Chris, was, you know, guys that had tools. It's amazing how many times we have conversations with companies that already have tools, but what's happening is, they're using maybe 10 or 20% of it. And it's not their whole team that's using it either. So then, they brought this really cool, powerful tool on to help streamline and organize their business, make life easier, but it's, an expensive paperweight. So what ends up happening is some of these companies become reluctant on looking at new products, looking at new software, because it's like, "Nah, I got this amazing tool that everybody knows, but I'm not really using it. So why am I going to go and build my own?" And the answer that we hope to be there is, well, now you actually build software, building features that your company actually use. Some people don't need crazy extensive quotes, or they don't need time tracking because they sub out most of their work, whatever it happens to be. But now we are building your tool with the features that you are going to use every day to the way that you're going to use them, so that now not only does the owner use them, but so does the field guys, so does the foreman, whatever it happens to be. And nobody's, we're not overcomplicating and creating these massive learning curves with all these really brand new crazy features. We can do that stuff, sure, but at the end of the day, if you just need something that I need it to work, I need it to do A, B, and C, and maybe D, but we'll talk about D later. Well, we can do that. And then when you're ready, you call us and you say, hey, I want D now. No problem. Here's D. And you don't got to wait 6 months because my research and development team have to, ask if it's okay to release this feature to a board of committees, because, my company is is built that way. So, yeah.
100%, guys. I think that's the coolest thing too, as well, because when, a lot of people think software, they're thinking, especially on the custom software, they're like, they're almost like, oh man, this must cost millions of dollars, or this must take, months and months and months and years, if not to develop new functionality. Where, to be honest, it's actually the opposite. Where it's just as you said there, Nick. It's like the out-of-box software companies there, like the big giants, Jobber. Service Titan, they have forums where you can request features and functionality, but it has to get approved by technical board members, by marketing board members. They have to figure out a product team to then release that. The cool thing I think about working with a company like Revalate here is that you can get this done pretty quickly. And like, if I'm not mistaken, guys, if you can kind of talk about what this a typical customer looks like for you guys, in terms of who's entering the field, who wants like custom software, and when you're talking to them saying like, this is not something that's going to cost you $1 million, and if you want like a new feature and functionality, this isn't going to take something like years to develop. Can you kind of talk about that, who that person looks like, and like what that journey looks like for them?
Absolutely. Og, you want to take this one?
Sure. I was actually going to leave it for you, but
I
yeah,
always answer these
essentially.
questions. I think it's a good opportunity to, Augustino does a lot of the intake and really unpacks what the real problem is. The way that we built our development process isn't so much, I want I want to be able to quote a job. Oh, okay, here's your quoting feature. Have a great Wednesday. It's not that kind of a thing. It's okay, well, let's actually talk about what a workflow looks like. Tell me about what it looks like to run a project. Now, it creates an ideation process that says, okay, well, we can actually build this so that it's removing some of the manual processes, the tedious shit that keeps them at the office instead of either where they need to be, which is finding new work and growing the company, or at home with their kids. So, I think, if you talk about some of that ideation and some of the conversations you have with these folks, it really, paints that picture nicely.
Yeah, man. So on that point, a lot of times guys don't know exactly what they need. They know what they want in terms of they want to save some time and they don't want to pay a lot to do it. So that's part of it. But they'll typically start talking about their workflow. Let's say estimating is a big one. They use either a fancy software and or an Excel sheet. It always comes down to an Excel sheet. They're, even though they have the big company, because they've spent 30 years creating and crafting their formulas and what to include. Maybe they have a price list already made up, their equipment prices, they've spoken to a supplier, and now they have a special rate that they want to include. So they've customized their estimating process that can't be replicated in and out of the box. So essentially they'll pass that over to us. They send us their documents, tell us about their workflow. why it's so special, and who then needs to work with that document. And we digitize it all.
Nice.
Digitize it in a way where we can build it into their app. Now they're going through those steps a lot quicker. They don't have a master Excel sheet that then has to get copied 3 times, and for every project gets copied and copied and copied, and potentially errors in formulas, then the assistant takes it. So we create that all in their app, so it's quick at their fingertips, and again, saving time, right? And you mentioned about cost before, and you're right. Back in the day, it used to cost, and not too far back in the day, like a year or two ago, millions. Maybe you could get away with a couple $100,000 to get your app off the ground, and but then that's it. Like, it's off the ground. Then you have the maintenance, you have the upkeep, you have additional features that you have to build on, and then it gets added on, it gets added on. And the difficult part about that too is people don't always have the vision. You know, you're a contractor, you're not a developer in the coding world developer, not the construction world developer. So your brain is not automatically thinking, oh, what's this feature need to do? What does this button need to do? So when they start using those apps that they've just created, you know, they think, oh, cool, it'd be great if I could also do this. Happens all the time. The difference is that instead of starting at a $200,000 build and then paying another $50,000 for every change that they want to make, you know, they're starting with a $5,000 build, and now getting you know, maybe $500, $1,000 to make some changes that they need to their app. And still, when you're looking at how much time that's saving them on that monthly and the yearly, like, it's a no-brainer, because now it's not just their time, it's their entire company's time that they're saving.
Absolutely there, brother. And I think too, when you kind of look at the whole facet of what you guys do, man, it's like, I think like the bespoke part of it is like such a beneficial value prop, and like very much like that big value prop of like the Revalate portion here, where, you know, a lot of the guys that I will talk to when they're embedding forms into their website or they're working with different software, is like the learning curve. Like, that's a huge thing, is like the learning curve. And a lot of the times when it comes to like the bigger softwares that, as you said there, Nick, that have a million different features, all these bells and whistles, it almost gets like a little bit too convoluted for people, where they end up not using the software, or they almost ditch it entirely. They're only using like very small bites and pieces of it, where for you guys, like, you are building into their process. So that learning curve realistically is you're building into something that they're already doing. So I imagine it's a lot less of a learning curve, because it's exactly how they've done. It's just done in a much more productive and like digitized way. Am I correct in saying that?
That's perfect. And the fun part of the whole thing, the fun part of the custom development piece is, you know, we're looking for things to take out. When you're buying an out of the box product, like Augustino said there, you know, it's hard to cater. It's hard to be able to create an open tool that you can tweak and refine to millions of people, that and the unique way they want that tool to work. For us, we can get into the nitty gritty and really say, well, okay, you know, it's taking you 10 steps of manual entry to get something done, where we can pretty well build the tool to do 7 of them. You keep the 3, you back where you need to be, and you know what I mean? And we tweak and refine. And as you start using it, the other really cool thing is it gives companies an opportunity to create differentiators. You know, they own the tool. It's not Revelate's tool. It belongs to the company that's building it. So now you have something that sets them apart. It's truly a tool to help their customers receive the service or products they deliver the way that they do it. And then the added benefit is when they're ready to sell that company, if that's something they're going to do, it's like handing over your phone. Here you go. Here's everything you need to know. Good luck.
100%.
Right? It puts them in a different place. And to be able to do it now, you know, with pennies on the dollar, like in comparison to what it used to be. And then the other thing that Augustino maybe didn't expand on yet was, like, to build back in the day, to build a software, you wanted something that we would build you in 4 weeks. We're talking about 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
before you got your truck, before you got what you're going to test with.
Yeah.
And now it's another couple months of back and forth with 5 or 6 people that are working on your tool about, I don't like where the button is, or I don't like this color. Can we change the font on this thing? This is driving me crazy. Little things like that take weeks. Where now, you know what, man? I want this feature. Okay, it'll be done in 3 days. You
There you
good? All
go.
right. Well, you'll be ready to test it in about 48 hours. Let us know if there's anything we need to tweak. It's that kind of game changing accessibility that Revalate is working at creating for people that they want something that's going to help them. They don't want the bullshit. Excuse my language. I hope I can let them fly this
Oh, you can,
session.
man. It's yeah, no, there's no censors on this, man. No problem. We'll
Right.
be putting it in subtitles too. Boom, right there.
I
No
love it.
problem.
So, I mean, there's none of that stuff. I need a tool that's going to do what I need to do it. I don't need to wait 6 months for it. I don't need to spend 100 grand on it. I don't want these extremely crazy monthly costs. I don't want to have to worry that every time I add a new user to it, I'm going to get smacked another couple $100. I don't want to have to worry that half of my team are going to get pissed off at me because I'm trying to do something good for the company, but they don't want to learn something brand new. It's hard enough, all that stuff. It's like, okay, you know how to send a text message? We can build that portion of the app be that easy. They know how to get on Instagram? Okay, we'll build it that way so it works just the same and they have no worries about learning this massive, undertaking tool. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that we're seeing.
There we go, guys. I think that's honestly like I was gonna ask about the benefits, man, but that just wraps it up like perfectly. Like I think like for again the it's such an ROI positive thing that you guys are doing. Just even having like a software in your business is like one thing, and like that's gonna return on investment just because it's saving like so much time. But when you talk about like actually like using a software, getting it created for you, like when you go through something like with Revalate, like you're gonna have a much quicker turnaround time. The cost savings compared to like traditional software, or if you built it like in a much more convoluted way, is going to be there. The learning curve is going to be there in terms of like being cut down diminishedly, like crazily on that side. Like there's so many great things I think when it comes to like the custom bespoke way that you guys are doing it, and not only the essence of having bespoke software, but in the ways that you guys develop it, I think is really smart because there are still huge software development companies out there that do stuff like this for, big organizations, small organizations, and they're rinsing a lot of these people with stuff that takes, again, as you said there, man, a year, 2 years, 3 years to develop. Can I get a feature done? Yeah, no problem, man. That'll be done when you sell the business in 16 years. You know what I mean? Like, these are things that I think you guys are really hitting well in, like the value prop there, which is, I'm excited too. I know you guys have a demo for me too as well. I just want to ask one last question. When it comes to like the features and functionality, and I'm sure we'll see this in the demo that you guys have prepared, like what are some of the ones that are really common that people are requesting? Like I know you touched on there, Augustino, about the estimating. Like, is there anything else there that you find is like, really being requested that you guys have found like a really great solution for?
Yeah, man. You have the core features like your estimating, developing quote, e-signature requests, time tracking, timesheets with geolocation as well. That's a big one where people want to capture where their guys are because they don't want to be at Tim Hortons down the street.
Yes,
The other stuff like progress draws, Gantt charts. That's probably where we're getting, allowing people to get more accessibility to those bigger features.
Cool.
Which they shouldn't be bigger features just for the smaller guys. And then sprinkle in AI where we can. AI, we have that in a few areas with inbound, outbound, or even to help with some of the day-to-day. So a lot of guys are still using paper and pen. I would probably say that's one of our biggest requests. They don't want to go fully digital. They still like to walk by on site, write down their notes on their piece of paper, but then it's somehow got to get to the app and got to get down to their guys or got to get to other people in the office. So what we do is write down your notes, write down your tasks, or even prepare an estimate. You're walking around site doing your takeoff. Well, it'd be cool and possible. Snap a photo, upload it to the system, and now automatically draft up an estimate or automatically create all those tasks, assign it to the people, and it's allowing you to kind of combine the human element and the digital part without giving up all your human element of what you like to do on a daily basis.
Awesome, man. I think the AI portion too as well is like such a cool and almost like spooky thing that's coming up. It's a huge buzzword right now where everything has AI, everything has AI. It's sick that you guys are like utilizing a fashion that's like so custom to what people are looking for. Like the fact isn't like, I bet you guys can make things as custom as possible, but there's still going to be like some grumpy people there and the workers who don't want to do things, like the fact that you've developed like a feature that allows you to take a picture of something and that gets automatically uploaded into their platform. Like it can't get simpler than that when it comes to it. Like there's nothing. That's as little as you can ask for your employee to do is just take a picture if he doesn't want to actually take his notes and put it into a platform there. So I think that's like, it's cool to see as AI develops too as well, like what you guys do with the platform and some of the functionality that you'll be able to build too.
Yeah, you want to talk about spooky. Well, we created, you can check it out even on our website and test it, is a voice AI receptionist. Think of like a 24/7 mechanical repair service.
There we go.
You don't want to have your receptionist stay at the office all day long answering phone calls for that emergency repair. Well, imagine your clients are calling in, speaking to an AI, where that AI can now kind of pull out what the issue is, but not only that, go to the extent of, let me see who's available on the calendar right now.
Let's go.
Schedule that person, input all that information into your CRM, input that information into your CRM, send out a notification by email, text message to client, manager and technician that all have to be there, and it's all done instantly, and you don't have to lift a finger.
There you go. That's sick, man. That is fucking cool. They're like, if anyone wants to see it too as well, if you go to their website, revalate.com, scroll down to the footer there. They have a demo, AI voice agent. Test that out. I've tested it before too as well, and it's spooky, man. It's honestly nicer than a lot of the receptionists I've talked to in the trades here. So it's a pretty nice.
We trained it to be that way. So
there we go. Big time. Well, awesome, guys. Like I'm pumped up right now just in terms of gave me a nice synopsis of everything. At the end of this, I like to do just kind of like a demo of what you guys got going on. So I know you got an app there to show me there. Augustino, if you'd want to share your screen here, we'll dive into that and show the people what a cool sample of Revalate is here.
Sounds good. All right, man. So what you're seeing here is a demo app. Nick touched on it before, where some of those big development companies that you have to wait 18 months to get your hand on a product before you could actually see what you're developing after hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is that, let me touch and feel it before I commit and before I start really brainstorming the ideas that I have. So on the left you can see some of those core features that we were talking about. You got your tasks, your estimate, your projects, your invoicing, time tracking, timesheets, your contact base, and a few settings and tutorials. So, we try to keep all the layout very simple to use. You got your tasks with all the company's tasks that they have. You could filter it by your own, by status. Estimates, again, very simple to use. You don't have, navigation bars with another 20 features up top. So like even the navigation to go through the app, you find what you need very quickly and easily. So, setting up your estimate, very, very directed information with easy to click buttons. You got easy drop downs, nice big numbers giving you your total cost, your profit margin on the project, which sometimes people don't calculate with the difference of markup versus profit margin. So it's good to show that right off the bat. We have an example here of that estimate, which again, all custom. If you want this to not show amounts and only have a total, we designed that for you. When I was talking about, their 30 years of pricing lists and getting information from their suppliers, we'll help them create that database. So now if they're adding in their cost for that spotlight compared to their sell price, obviously as an example, but quickly add in, click save, and it's adding that line item to your list. And since this is, again, you'll hear me say a million times that it's all custom, we'll build it out the way they need to. So now if you need to adjust this price for this particular project because that this is going to take an extra 10 minutes, 20 minutes per spotlight because it's a $30 million home in Forest Hill and it's going to need some extra attention, now you could adjust the quantities or adjust the pricing on each one of those line items. You could quickly email it out directly from here, even request e-signatures. So again, this is that kind of base and benchmark to get your ideas flowing of how you can use the app and customize it to your process. Not to spend too much time on this stuff, but adding in tasks, notes, photos, videos, all directly from the app. You got your invoices. Again, this can be integrated with essentially if you have an open API, we can integrate with any accounting software, QuickBooks, Xero, Sage, a whole bunch of stuff there. Track progress, request payments. I personally like the time tracker feature.
Let's go.
Easily select from a job, get your live traffic to site, whether from your location, punch in, punch out. And the cool part about this is no more manual timesheets. Like no more.
Yep.
I'm surprised at how many people are still using paper timesheets and have their guys drive to the shop, put it in a little box, and then have somebody else collect that and process payroll. Well, this is all done not only by the end of the week, but every day as that person is punching in and out.
Let's go.
Even with that geolocation. Simple stuff like you got your contact base, straightforward, and you got all your price book categories here. So imagine that giant Excel sheet that you've been building for 30 years, now at your fingertips that anybody new coming into the business, into your company can use. And when we're not with you, you got your nice tutorial section.
You didn't do his hair that day, but he made the videos nice. Maybe also walk them through the builder online. You can build that tool. So now if you don't, one of Revelate's mandates is to build the tools so that the office work can get done as fast as you can. You can get back to where you need to be. So we built the builder online so that you're picking the features that you need, and everything else, we'll worry about it when it actually becomes something that you need. But at least you have something to test. You want to show them that?
Yeah, give me a sec.
And then if you like it, keep running it.
100%.
Customize it when you're ready. But at least now you have something that's actually helping you with the day-to-day grind.
Big time. I like how accessible you guys make all the tools too as well. Like it's not only like just trials you offer here, man. Like it's not like test out the software. Like to be able to put in your own features and functionality is cool here. So excited about this offer here, guys.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, we know that custom it's a new conversation in this industry, and Revalate wants to be the name that's bumping the volume to 11. So, the first place to start is try it, figure it out, see what it means to you, see how much being able to tweak and customize that tool to the way you guys do it, see how much it actually changes things. You know what I mean? Being able to have the horsepower that to push the office work away the way that we know these tools can, and then being able to tweak it to the point where you're as hands off as possible, it's game changing shit.
Big time. 100%.
Yeah, man. So what you're looking at here is how to get your free trial. You could quickly sign up from our form, or if you want to get more interactive, you could build out with telling us exactly what features you want, leave out what you don't, and you could even get an idea of what that pricing would look like with some of those custom features. So if you want your client portal, if you want material inventory, like you could select what you want here and select how many users you're going to use, and just click on start trial and you're ready to go.
There we go.
There you go.
That's one thing I like too, even like looking at like the costing process of that, guys. Like the fact that you guys are like very transparent in your pricing is like refreshing, because I find with I don't want to put any names out there, but a lot of like the bigger software companies out there, it's like, oh, it's only going to cost me $99 a month, but they don't know it's like per user or per quarter or per amount of data they put, and by the end of it, when you onboard your entire team, you're going to be spending like a few $1,000s a month just maintaining the software, and guess what? Now you're locked in because you've changed your entire process to have this built out for you. So
we've made it very easy to grow your team. Even with those prices you just saw, you're good with 30 people on the team, and
let's go.
Go from there. And even after that, like you'll see the prices there. It's $6 per user after that. Like you're not breaking the bank.
There we go.
And
Awesome,
we know
guys.
that the construction is an industry that is built around loyalty. It's people that want to know that they're not getting fucked over. And to do it right, you know, you got to put everything on the table and let them make the decision. At the end of the day, we know what we're doing. We know what we're giving them, and we know how powerful it is. But they don't, not yet. And if they're never going to try it, and more importantly, if they feel like something's missing here, they're never going to actually experience what they can have their hands on here. So, you know, it's all about one of my mentors always said, "You take care of people, people will take care of you."
Absolutely.
That's our whole philosophy. Do it yourself. Figure it out. When you're ready, we're here to help you figure it out. But you got to wrap your head around the fact that up until this point, there's been a lot of companies that have been making bank on the fact that you don't know what you don't know. And it doesn't have to be that way anymore.
I like you guys. There we go. Awesome, man. Well, you heard it. You heard it here first, guys. I appreciate you guys coming down onto the podcast here. Nick Augustino, I think this was an awesome session. Learned a lot myself too as well. For everyone watching here, I'm going to put a link in the description of this podcast here, but to get that free trial, it's revalate.com/free trial. Very easy URL. Easy to make, easy to go to. So check it out. Test out this quality software, guys. If you're looking for something that is custom for your business, and you know a lot of the softwares haven't checked all the boxes here, I implore you guys to check it out because it's not going to cost you anything, and you get to work with two really good friends that I'd say myself that I was able to make here, and work with guys who are transparent and honest within the industry, guys. So thank you guys so much for coming down. Appreciate you for joining here, and we'll be catching you next time.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks for having us.
Amazing.